Hello, Jeff Helvin here with the Lori Ballin team in Las Vegas and Ballin Brands at your command. And today we are reviewing smart plans. This particular video is just an overview of smart plans. I have other videos available for how-to, setting them up, going through the different features, but I just wanted to really explore with you smart plans in general, how we use them, what we can do with them, and so forth, just as again, kind of a way to inspire what's possible and how they work in case you didn't happen to know already. So command smart plans, it's found down here. It's the fourth icon down. You'll see it says smart plans if you click on that little KW up there. And I think the icon is like a degree, like you're smart. So that helps identify what we're looking for here. But so what we have here is I am currently logged into commands. I am in my own personal, I'm on a team, the Lori Ballin team, but I'm in my own personal section. So I have my own personal account selected. So what I see in here are any smart plans that are installed in my account. So what I mean by that is that if I have teammate on my team, they're gonna have a different list of smart plans than what I have in my own login. Okay, so these are smart plans that I'm able to use on contacts that I own. Okay, so I want to make that distinction again, because with contacts you can own a contact and you can also be assigned to a team contact, but that's different. If it's a team contact, it's in a different spot. So we're going to explore that a little bit more today as well. So the first thing I want to do is just point out the navigation up here. So we have the My Smart Plans, that's what's showing here by default. Then there's also a library. So I can click on library and we're able to see basically thousands of smart plans that have been shared by other agents that they use. Now in some cases they're shared, they may be sharing them actually for their own team members to be able to come in and get, but it is part of just the whole international system. So what I mean by that, or why I say that, is because not all smart plans in here have been quality controlled or may work specifically for your business over another. So you want to pay attention to what it is it's doing and make sure it looks right, instead of just installing other smart plans, because it could get a little messy in your own account. So in here we have featured ones. So the featured ones are ones that are actually pushed out by KW originally when they rolled these out in the first place. So you'll see a My Long-Term Nurture, there's a 555, there's a post-closing plan. I can click over and see 6 month just looking, monthly call plan. So these are some of the featured ones that again are not necessarily pushed out by KW, I shouldn't have said it that way. They have different authors, but they are featured and deemed as valuable with KW. These ones down here that actually show the author as Keller Williams, those are the ones that I was referring to here. So here we go. So these are the ones that were originally pushed out, the midterm nurture, quarterly call plan, 8x8s, and then up here we have featured ones that are from some of the advisors, the lab advisors, it looks like. So now what I'm able to do with these is before I click on any of them, I can read it. This is a bi-weekly email that helps you reach. Okay, great. So I'm going to click on View Steps, and then it shows just very simply, it's a 15 days total. It's 3 steps each 15 days, and it's one particular touch. So if you notice here, let me zoom back out. If you notice here, we have send HTML email, so it's automated or manual email, and then we have delay of 14 days, and then it repeats. So those are technically your 3 steps, but it's really just one touch, one actual communication touch. So if I go up to this one, for example, My Long-Term Nurture, and click View Steps, you'll see here, Add to Smart Plan, and it adds it to the MNN, which is Monthly Neighborhood Nurture, so it adds it actually to another smart plan. So if I put someone on my Long-Term Nurture, it's adding them also to the Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. Then there's a 10-day delay, and then there's a contact for a phone call. Now it also says in here, it gives kind of it's a task that'll show up on your calendar that says call so-and-so as part of Long-Term Nurture Smart Plan. Then it's a 10-day delay, and then there's another task now, and it says send value email to so-and-so as part of the Long-Term Nurture Plan. Then it waits 10 days, then there's a text message that goes out. Now you'll see here there's multiple messages, and what that means is that when it comes back through, so you'll notice my last step here is to repeat it 6 times, but we don't want to send the same text message automatically all 6 of those times. So the command actually gives you an option where you can set 6 separate text messages, and it'll actually rotate through those. So this particular one, as you see, it's 31 days. That's actually as long as we can make smart plans right now. There's 8 steps, but 3 touches, because again, the steps include these delays that are in there. So basically 3 touches in 30 days. So about every 10 days you're getting a touch. And in this case, there's one is a task and one's an email, and that's how that's going to work. Now technically it'll add to smart plan again, but if they're already on that smart plan, then it skips this. So what's going to happen is there's technically going to be 20 days between this final one. So some people might like that and some people might not. Maybe you do want every 10 days to have a touch. If that's the case, then instead of this add to smart plan one up here, we would want to change that to something else. So just wanted to kind of help describe some of those. Again, we'll get more into actually building smart plans in another video. But in this case, I just want to make sure you could see where the library is. I could also do a search by smart plan name, author name, or description. I can filter them. So it's a lot of ways to find these that are already done. So if I go back to my smart plans, and these are the ones that I have installed, so these are ones I can access. So again, if I want a quick view, I can actually just click on the little arrow and see what's in there. So just like, delay 3 days, touch task. So just like on the other page where I click the arrow and was able to see our view steps, I was able to see in there. This shows how many contacts are attached to the smart plan. So right now this would indicate there are none in my particular account, and I'll explain that here in a minute. And then created, when the smart plan was created, how long the smart plan goes for, how many total touches. And then over here, I can add contacts from here. So smart plans, I can add contacts to smart plans from here. I can add smart plans to contacts from the contacts section. So there's lots of different ways to get contacts on the smart plan. I can edit the smart plan itself, and then I can copy it or publish it to the library, which is up here if I wanted to share it with everybody else, or I can delete the smart plan. So those are our navigation options. In here, another thing I wanted to review with you basically is kind of how we use them. So when we have smart plans, the idea around them is automation. So in our particular case, I'll give you an example here. We have like this arrival smart plan. So arrival means basically it's a contact, in this case a buyer. It's a buyer contact that we have not yet had two-way communication with. So we want to chase them, right? So we're going to be a little more persistent in this particular one. So as soon as I put someone on the smart plan, let's say it's a Facebook lead. That would be a good example. So Facebook lead, the first message that goes out is, "Hi, John," for example. "My name is Jeff Helvin. How do you feel about the properties you're searching online?" So the idea is that if they registered online, you'll notice it's a very general message. It's not, "How do you feel about property 123 Main Street," right? This is a more general campaign because the idea is that we're able to use it in multiple, whether it's Google pay-per-click or someone who downloaded our app or something. So, they've taken some sort of initiative to indicate that they're probably looking at properties online. So we use that general message. Now we delay a day, so then the next day it sends an email. So, "John, we have access to all properties in the area as well as many not advertised. Are there any properties you're currently eyeing?" Then we're going to wait a day and we're going to send another text message. So this is assuming that they have not responded back. That's why we have that persistence of the daily touch. Of course, by all means, you could pick up the phone and call as well. But if you're generating a large volume of leads, sometimes that can get complicated. So we want to at least make sure they're getting texts and emails from us pursuing them. So we send a text, then we have a day delay, we send an email, then we wait, then we send a text, because we don't know how they're going to respond via text or email. So we want to continue to pursue them in both ways. And then finally, the last one is check to see if they have responded and try once more to connect with the call if they haven't responded, or put them on an appropriate follow-up campaign if they have. So there is a chance that they did respond, and the intent, if they respond right now, is that you would go into the system and process them, right? Either mark them as a dead lead or move them over to another smart plan. This is not automated yet. If they respond, that's something that Command has kind of built into the system, but is not available at the moment. So it's something that you would manage. But the point is that it's not about the lead source per se, the way we do smart plans. We do them more based on kind of the category that particular contact fits in. So for example, we have our arrival campaign, which is, again, a new contact that just arrived in the system. Then we have the survival campaign. So that's a text message campaign that indicate, it's trying to keep in touch with them. So we've made two-way contact, but they're not right now business, not someone we're working with manually right now. So we want to make sure we put them on that long-term nurture. So that's what the survival campaign does. And then revival is one also where it's like we've had two-way communication, but now we're not talking anymore for whatever reason, right? Either I dropped the ball or they're not responding to my automated smart plans. So this is a way to get, it just gets more persistent again and does a daily touch, whereas that survival campaign is every few weeks. So the idea is, how often do you want to touch them and what kind of contact are they? We also have the sphere of influence smart plan. So that's your general touch. So that's a message that goes out, as you'll see, about every 30 days. And it mixes between a call task, an automated text, and an email, and then it repeats itself. So the idea with the smart plans is to have something that's going to kind of help nurture. We suggest that you don't get too heavy on the tasks, because your task list tends to build up, and most agents, as we're working with clients, we're good and diligent until inspection goes wrong, or certain dealings or whatever, and we miss our 2-hour time block. Right now, we're never supposed to miss it. We're never supposed to erase it, right? We're always supposed to replace it. But in some cases, the realistic thing is, if you go out of town for a week on vacation or do those things, like your task could build up, is the point. So you really want to try to lean on the automation as much as possible to do the emailing and the texting for you. Really stick to just the call tasks and really just be committed to doing those calls and making sure that they happen. So all right, so that's an overview of smart plans in general. Again, there's other videos for how to create smart plans, how we're using smart plans. One thing I'll kind of leave you with is that I mentioned I was on a team. So in this case, if I actually go, you'll see on my smart plans, I have introduction, birthday tests, right? If I go to the team, there's a different set of smart plans. So we do also have some of those other ones that I was just pointing out installed here, but they're installed twice. They're installed on the team plan, and they're installed on the my own personal login plan. And the relevance of that is that you cannot put, even though I'm on a team, if I have a personal contact that I own, that I entered into the system is not a team contact, I'm not able to use the team smart plans on my personal or like my own contact. So keep that in mind. If you are managing leads and contacts from teams and personal, you have to have these smart plans installed multiple times. You'd have to have them installed on your personal one and on your team. So that's the same is true when you're creating a smart plan, is you need to make sure you know which one you're creating it on. So all of these things that you're looking at, team plans, library, what's published, what we have, this is now the team. And then if I go back here to my personal, you'll see now it changes to my smart plans instead of team smart plans, and people plans instead of team plans. So just look at that, make sure you know. So if you get confused and you're looking for something, that's how that is all configured and set up to work. So if you have any questions on this, by all means, please reach out to team@ballinbrands.com.